Right, folk, welcome back to another video beer review. Again, joined by
James of Rampant Lion Reviews.
And today we've got a beer which kindly given to me, sent to the channel by Adam Mersey Beers, for me to review at some point in the past. I didn't get around to doing it on my own, so I joined by Jim. Because to be honest, 500ml Imperial Stout, 9%. Not the sort of thing I'd do on my own.
It's a bit hard going, eh?
It is, yeah. So it is also bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. It is Jim Beam bourbon barrel aged.
American.
Sorry, barrel aged even. There are another two out of this series, which we will be doing as well. It's American beer. It's British beer with an American barrel.
Twice who's part of the British Empire.
Fucking dare that. Created with 10 different malts to bring a complex and rich mouthfeel, hot with British and American hops to create floral and blackcurrant notes to complement the malt base. Asian bourbon barrels for 9 months to impart flavours of vanilla and sweet spices. It says also available Maker's Mark barrel aged and Four Roses barrel aged, both of which we have. I just thought this was like a sensible one to kind of start off on. Brewed and bottled by 4T's Brewery, Unit 20, Manor Industrial Estate, Lower Wash Lane, Latchford, Warrington. Got that postcode as well. Best before 31st of December 22. He did give this to me like this year, so I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Imperial Stouts
Imperial's
will last for a good time.
It must be said hand capped. Whenever you see that indentation, hand capped. So we'll see. Hopefully, it's better than the last hand cap beer that Adam sent, which was that
Bad.
yeah, it was bad. It bad. It not good. It's sour. It's a stout. Hopefully this is far better. There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Get a nice head on it for you.
Oh. So as you can see, lovely dark ebony rosewood colour, as you'd expect of the beer. But two finger frothy kind of medium tan head on this one, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing untoward about that. Little bit of carbonation visible in this one, probably bottle conditioned, eh?
You ready to get hit by the fucking barrel?
Oh yeah, that's like really, barrel's really strong on that.
It's like they've had the barrel and they've never washed the barrel before, kind of going straight into it. But
I think I've got a wee bit more than you.
I'll have a talk of it in a bit. It's smoky, dark chocolate.
I don't know about smoky. I'd say more charred. But I mean, for me, smoky's peaty or meaty. That's the thing.
I see. I even get a peaty note of it. I'm not the biggest fan of bourbon in general. Well, I have had a few, but I'm not the biggest fan of bourbon. I prefer like a proper drink.
I tell you something though, like with this though, I feel that you can always tell American oak versus European oak because you get the smoothness out of this. And as I always say, it's a different species of tree. It's very different. But you get the smoothness of the wood, the vanilla, a little bit of the spirit. You know, I very rarely drink bourbon, and it's just because, you know...
I always find it way too sweet. Yeah. It's just vanilla-y and stuff.
I mean, in the motherland, there's just no need to.
No.
That's the thing. So I'm not really familiar with bourbons, but I'm sure there are some really nice ones in the States from the smaller distilleries. But still, I mean, above that, like you're saying... Roasty, well-fired bread crust. Obviously a bit of Carafa or Special B. I think Special B, because it's drier. It doesn't have that kind of brown bready thing you'd get from Carafa.
The funny thing is it's really hard now in the UK to get them and malts. You can get them, but they cost a fucking arm and a leg, and it's just often 9 times out of 10 not worth using them. So we use, instead of like Carafa 3, which used to be a big one, or Cara Red or something like that. There's now like UK versions of them made by 4T's Maltings, based up in Yorkshire.
See, I'm very familiar with the Special B, for example, as well, because that's Nerd Brewing in Malmo. It's
just not cost effective to get it in the UK when we're such a big malt producer.
Yeah, but bit of rye bread.
Yeah. The like kind of creaminess sitting on the back end of it as well. The
chocolate in this one's interesting because it has got that, 70-80% cocoa chocolate, but there's also a bit of cherryness in the chocolate too. Yeah. It's got a wee bit of tree colour molasses, but not too much.
Yeah, there's a fruity note to it as well. I'm trying to work out what it is.
There's still a bit of hoppiness in this too. There's a wee bit of earthy
herbal,
and you can definitely get that American floral quality to this one. But the fruits for me are quite, I think quite juicy and plummy, but also blackberry.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of fig to it as well, yeah.
It all very much hides behind a really potentially harsh barrel, but we'll see. Anyway, dive in.
Yeah,
cheers.
The barrel's not too dominant in that.
It's not too, but I was expecting a slightly thicker body than what it delivered.
It's definitely RIS as well. It's Russian Imperial Stout. This is quite a dry, bitter base stout for sure.
Oh yeah. It's really quite astringent, isn't it? It's roasty, toasty, smoky.
Yeah.
Not overly smoky, but roasty.
It takes the barrel. I'd go as far as saying it takes the barrel a wee bit of time to come out.
Coffee, dark chocolate. Yeah, it's dry though.
Yeah, it's almost like, for me, the base is that roasty, toasty, well-fired morning roll bread crust, whatever you want to call it. Bit of rye bread on top.
That chocolate malt makes it so dry.
I think it's not black. I would say the black malt, but the chocolate does have the charriness as well. And that comes out on, for me, like in the middle of the palate. You get the bread crust, and then you get the chocolate charriness in the back third of the palate.
I always find chocolate malt gives you like, roasted barley, for example, is something that gives you like astringency, but chocolate malt gives you that coffee. I find that chocolate malt 9 times out of 10 never gives you any chocolate flavours. It tends to be more like the roasted barley gives you a slight touch of chocolate, but then chocolate malt comes more with the coffee and the dryness. At least that's the way I've found it recently. But yeah,
is that from brewing or from
just from brewing? Stuff? Just from brewing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's but I'm sure their water's affected differently. Affects things differently. For sure.
Where are these guys from?
Warrington, up north.
Okay.
Not up north, but near
Yorkshire kind of area.
No, other side.
Oh, okay.
Near, Manchester way, Manchester Liverpool way.
All right. But I mean, above the toasty bread crust there, you get the rye bread, like an almost chocolate brownie, chocolate muffin consistency type thing.
Yeah.
Then a layer of chocolate charred at the back. As you come further forward, it mellows out, so it goes from like maybe 80% cocoa chocolate to like 60. It doesn't mellow out too much, and there's not as much brown sugar in the flavour as there was in the alcohol, in the aroma. Sorry.
I'll tell you, for me, it's body-wise, it's a touch thinner than I'd want it to be.
It's single mash. I mean, I would say this is probably single mash,
Yeah.
and with the barrel, you're always going to lose a bit of the mouthfeel as well.
I don't know, because to get up to this sort of ABV, I don't know what quantity they brewed it in, but I'd to get to this ABV, I'd think double mash, but it doesn't really, they might not say.
I mean, I think it's, for me, usually if you've got double mash, you can feel the kind of stickiness in the mouthfeel. But then again, with this being barrel aged, it's not been barrel aged. It's not been barrel aged for that long. 9 months isn't that long, but you are still going to lose some of that mouthfeel, I think. Yeah. And like you say, it is very light. I'd agree with that 100%. There is a wee bit of the hoppy character there, the earthiness, the herbal, not so much floral. This was quite different to its aroma in quite a few ways. Yeah. And the other thing is the barrel, like we said, the barrel comes out quite far into the aftertaste.
It's going to be interesting, seeing as I've had Jim Beam in the past, and that's why I thought it was kind of a good one to kind of start off on. I've had it in the past. I haven't had it all that often recently. I haven't had it for about maybe 5 or 6 years. But going on to the next ones, it's going to be interesting how they differ from this.
Yeah.
We've got Maker's Mark and Four Roses, and I personally don't like Four Roses. So
I mean, I have to admit, when it goes to barrel aging these days, I'm a bit more interested in like cognac barrels and things, to be honest with you. And bourbon barrel's a bit older. It's been there. Rum barrel, it can be quite interesting. But cognac barrel for me is, I think, grappa barrels, which you don't see that often, can be really interesting. I've had
horrific memories of my dad drinking grappa and ending up in a right fucking state.
But the barrels are good for the barrels are good for barley wines. Yeah.
Most of them were homebrew grappas as well.
Yeah.
From a man named Pedrocchi in the hills of Genoa.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Wonderful time.
We just need to do the fruitiness, eh?
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as fruity in the flavour as it was in the aroma.
No. Getting kind of like raisiny, again, figgy kind of notes, I think.
It's got a wee bit of raisin in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it disappears. I think the
think
chariness takes
all
over.
fruits drop off real quick.
Yeah.
And then it just goes dry,
Roasty,
toasty.
I mean, for me, a wee touch of blackberry, wee bit of plum, but a bit of raisin sharpness in the beginning. But like I say, it drops off really fast.
Yeah.
And then you get wood, you get roasty toastiness, and a bit of the bread and chocolate.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Nice one to try. Thank you very much to Adam. We will consume the rest. Anyway, see you next one.